There's a lot here.
This isn't just for Caitlin, but you asked me about Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that player set it. Okay. Right?
Sheryl Swoopes, basketball legend, Hall of Famer, has been highly critical of rookie phenom of the Indiana Fever, formerly of the University of Iowa, Caitlin Clark. And it goes back to this appearance that we actually covered when Swoopes went into Gil's Arena, Gilbert Arenas' show, which I've been highly critical of. There's a lot to take that is good, and there's some bad. And she claimed that Clark got a fifth year to break the scoring record, which was blatantly, patently false. And it persisted and snowballed, and now Swoopes, a commentator for the Dallas Wings' broadcast team, was apparently removed from said team, reports Stephen A. Smith, because of her comments pertaining to Clark. The Wings would play the Fever when Swoopes was removed from her post. Nancy Lieberman, a Hall of Famer herself, would go on Stephen A. Smith's show, and she not only served as the replacement, but made what the Houston Chronicle called thinly veiled references to Swoopes' controversial comments about Caitlin Clark. Swoopes then took to social media, addressing Lieberman with this quote from Maya Angelou. She captured it in the words of the great Angelou. "Have a blessed night, y'all." The message would read as follows: "You may shoot me with your words. You may cut my eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise." Lieberman would speak with Smith.
You know, I've known Sheryl since she was in college. I helped do her shoe deal with Nike in 1993, took her to her first SBs. I've known Sheryl, I've coached her, have a lot of respect for her. I called her when Caitlin was still playing at Iowa, and she had just broken Maravich's record. And it was all over the place, as you and I have discussed, that I got off the treadmill and I called her as a friend. And I said, you know, you can say whatever you want. You can have your own opinion about anybody, but you do have to get the statistics right. I mean, facts matter. And if you just get ahead of this and just say, hey, I made a mistake on my numbers, then this thing is over and everybody respects you for your opinion. Well, she got upset with me on the phone. And I was like, Sheryl, you know, I'm not doing anything to hurt you. I'm just sharing. We're talking. And so our relationship it pretty much is not happening at this point. I tried to talk to her at the Final Four. Right. She didn't want to talk to me. My life's going to be good or great with or without Sheryl Swoopes in my life. I'd rather have her in it.
The Chronicle also noted how Swoopes, on her own podcast, which is called Queens of the Court, mentioned the Fever's improved play, but it appeared she made it a point not to mention Caitlin Clark. You know, she went over how Aaliyah Boston is a fantastic player, along with many others. Smith would call it insane for her to do that. I see how some people could be feeling a certain type of way at the insertion of that word to describe Sheryl Swoopes. But what I would say is, I wouldn't call it insane. I would call it intentional. I would call it Sheryl Swoopes being hateful. Caitlin Clark deserves credit, okay? She deserves praise, and I understand how the nonstop praise could make some feel a certain way and also get turned off. But what's true is true. And what's right is right. And what's pure is pure. And for someone to host a show and intentionally leave out someone who has really taken the league by storm, is notching up the assist record, and is scoring quite well, that's preposterous. And yet it is intentional as well. So when confronted on Twitter recently over her comments, or lack thereof, as it pertains to Clark, Swoopes posted text exchanges with a user that goes by Caitlin Clark, which I always find this sort of methodology to be interesting, that you would in a way, post the W's to say, look, I did this. I washed my hands clean. This message would read, hey, Caitlin, I wanted to personally reach out to you and say I made a mistake on what year this is for you. COVID year has me all confused, LOL. I also have nothing but respect for you and your game and appreciate your skill. Congrats on everything you have accomplished thus far. Be blessed. Clark would reply, allegedly Clark would reply, no worries at all. I really appreciate you reaching out, and there's no hard feelings. I appreciate all you have done for women's basketball and for inspiring girls like me and building the foundation and platform we have today. Swoopes would then say, you're very welcome. I appreciate you and your game. You are taking it to a whole new level. Keep being great. Have a blessed night. And allegedly Clark would write back, you too. Now, what I just want to give air to is a comment from Martell, because I think he hit the nail on the head here, which was my thoughts exactly. Martell would write this as a reply underneath those tweets. This was February, though. You've kept the same nonsense up since then, so no, this doesn't move the majority. You say it's the fans you dislike, but you turn around and sneak diss Caitlin Clark every chance you get on a WNBA platform. Now, let me be very clear about this. If Sheryl Swoopes really feels like Caitlin Clark is terrible, not even worthy of a mention for the Indiana Fever having the season they are, that is her right. We live in this country. She's allowed to feel any way that she wants to feel. I will always listen to what a Hall of Famer has to say. And she is entitled to that opinion. What it feels, though, is low. It feels intentionally low. And it feels like she has a gripe against Caitlin Clark. And I want to know those reasons. And if it is still with the COVID year, then your apology really doesn't mean anything. Your words don't really matter because you are not speaking accurately. You are continuing to take out your frustrations thinking Caitlin Clark shoots over 40 shots a game, which is factually inaccurate, and that she got another year to break the record, which is factually inaccurate. So what is it? I want to know. And the thing is, Swoopes saw the podcast interview with Nancy Lieberman and clearly hated it. She would write this. Now, here you go. I get what you're trying to do with your boy, Stephen A. Smith, but it ain't working. You know good and well what happened. And ditto, my life is good without you two and him. You want to go there? Then Swoopes kept tweeting, making a direct reference to a previous interview. That'd be interesting. Lieberman had with longtime sports media member, who I am a fan of, Michelle Beadle, when Lieberman said, pertaining to the hard foul by the Chicago Sky's Kennedy Carter, that if she were Caitlin Clark, not that Caitlin Clark should do it, if Nancy Lieberman happened to be in that situation, that she would have gone back at Carter and punched her. Stephen A., you forgot to ask this, Swoopes caption, though I think we already know the answer to it. So I end with this. Give us your thoughts, Sheryl. I will interview you. I will host you on this platform to over 1 million subscribers, and I want to know how you truly feel. But don't hold back. If we're going to air it, we're going to air it. Be forthright. Be honest. What is it about Caitlin Clark that just rubs you the wrong way? If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.